Hi, my name is J.R. Robinson. I'm the president of High Desert Publishing Company and J.R.'s Legal Services. I'm also a member of a group of jailhouse lawyers throughout the country who helps anybody who's in jail or in prison. And believe you me, I understand and know how you feel. If you yourself or a loved one may be sitting in jail or in prison wrongfully, or even if you may have done it, you do have constitutional rights. While I was in prison, I wrote this book. The book is called the Crime Dog Cite Book. The book is so good that prosecutors, even some judges, is trying to stop me from distributing this book to inmates who are in jail and in prison. This is my message. Before you hire an attorney or get frustrated with your public defender, you've got to read this book. The book is called the Crime Dog Cite Book. It's not sold in no stores. Amazon.com wants so much money for me to put it on Amazon, so you got to get it direct. You got to get it direct from High Desert Publishing Company. You could pay either with credit card or you could do it by mail. But before I get into people purchasing the book, let's talk a little bit about what's in the book. What is in the book? The first thing I want to talk about is Brady violations. Did you know that less than 2% of all defendants sitting in jail or may be in prison never even heard the word of Brady? 1963, the United States Supreme Court in Brady versus the state of Maryland states that a defendant has a constitutional right anywhere from 30, 15, even 40 days before this man or woman's trial start to have an interview, a hearing, a preliminary hearing, to force all state witnesses and the victim to come to this hearing. So what if you in jail right now for assault, for robbery, for any crime, and the victim in your case belongs to anybody, really don't want to have nothing to do with it? Prisons are full of people pleading guilty to crimes in which they may not have had a victim at all. So before you plead guilty to any crime, I highly recommend that you get this Crime Dog Cite Book, because the first thing you're going to do is move the court for a Brady interview, a Brady hearing. What if you in a DV situation and your baby's mama, your girlfriend, or the guy you assaulted at a club just refuse to have anything to do with the prosecution? You move the court for a Brady hearing, they don't come to this hearing, then you follow it up with a motion called Washington State versus Crawford. And that Crawford case means if you have no victim to come to a preliminary hearing, when trial starts, naturally we could move the court for a dismissal. All this information is in my book, the Crime Dog Cite Book. Let's get to the next issue. I've been a lot of questions by far as how to pick an attorney. Personally, I think all paid attorneys are garbage. All of them. A few may be good, but I know from personal experience, I did some 10 years in prison, and the attorneys that I had, I would have been better off with a public defender. I hate to use the word public pretender, but I got more respect for a public defender than I would do a paid attorney. A public defender works like this. They don't get paid too much. They're much overworked and very much underpaid. But when you paying a private attorney $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 to handle a case, to help you work on a case, they take that money, go to a few preliminary hearings, and then tell you you got to take a deal. And this is really the scope of 95% of all defense attorneys. Do you know how Johnny Cochran made his bones? It wasn't with the O.J. Simpson and the Snoop Dogg trial. I grew up in California and Seattle, Washington. This is how Johnny Cochran made his bones. Back then, Johnny Cochran would do this. If you had a drug case, give me $10,000. If I don't beat your drug case, I'll give you your money back. You have a murder beef? Give me $30,000. If I don't beat your murder beef, I'll give you $28,000 back. This is how you know you got a good attorney. Now, most attorneys will say, well, that's unethical, we can't do it. That's BS. Because you hear attorneys under the same umbrella, the same bar, under the accidents and Social Security attorneys on TV every day. What do they say? They say, if we do not win your claim, you pay nothing. So what makes you think that a criminal attorney who's under the same bar administration as an accident attorney, the reason why criminal attorneys don't do that is because they would never make a dime unless they had to go to work. Usually they require be very nice, get their fees up front from you, and just as soon as you pay a defense attorney, all of a sudden he's flipped the script on you. She's flipped the script on you. Don't return your phone calls. Real arrogant now. All these issues and methods on beating a case, but as soon as you give them the money, now they want you to plead guilty to a crime in which you tell them, well, 2 months ago you said we could do it. Everything changed. Ain't nothing changed. The only thing changed is that you running out of money and they trying to get on to the next case. So believe you me, if you're sitting in jail or you're sitting in prison, it's time for you to step up to the plate and use your knowledge. Knowledge is power. Power will get you out of prison. Power will get you from the condition that you are in jail, and you're going to have to use that knowledge and take it upon yourself by reading this book, filing pretrial motions. Did you know that 85% of all law in the criminal justice system is done by the paralegals? I'm a criminal paralegal, and I contract myself with private attorneys, which I'm not going to mention none of their names, because I do all the work and they get all the credit. But if you can't afford a high-priced attorney, this is the book that you must buy, because this knowledge is power. Once you read this book, you will have the knowledge to tell your attorney, no, you're telling me a lie. I want to do this. I want you to file this motion. I want you to file that motion.